This is a term that we know, body dysmorphia, and it's basically like how you actually are versus like how you see yourself in the mirror. Like it goes both ways, you know. People who get huge, like in the muscular way, but they still see themselves as that like scrawny beanpole.
Hmm.
Or you have people who are overweight, and then they lost a ton of weight, but they still see themselves as fat. It's a mental disorder essentially. But the question that we got asked, I guess because of the trend of models before, you know, like a lot of people would assume that it affected females more. But do you think, like in today's climate, I mean, there's been male models for like a long time too. But do you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
there's like an increase of body dysmorphia in guys, especially with the superhero bodies? You know, we can reference that too.
I can't say I've thought about it too much, but just thinking about it here and now, it's got to be like how prevalent like imagery is, like
Mm,
images are, and the fact that like with Instagram, you open up the Explore tab and there might be 30 jacked and ripped dudes like looking at you, or whatever it is you aspire to, and you
mm,
follow. Like it may be looking at you right in the face, and it may be very easy to say, even if you look good, like, oh, well, there's 30 other guys that look like way better than me. The false image that the media puts onto so many things, we all know this. Like, you name something, and the media has probably spun it in a direction that is like really far from the truth. Because, like, even those guys, like in general, they probably do it for their job,
mm.
or they've touched up their photos, or they've done all these things to like make it look a certain way at a certain time with a certain physique, all for one moment. And for you to rate, for one, for you to just rate yourself against other people is just a very hard thing to do because we're all different. But for you to rate yourself against someone who professionally does that and prepares for that one moment in time, it's just like really, it's like sucks. It's going to really like, it really affects like your head because unfortunately, the majority of us will never get there.
You're talking about those photo shoots.
Right,
That
right,
reminds me of I think his name is Mark with Avatar Nutrition. He was talking about it. Something that a lot of people aren't aware of is when some of these fitness people go on a photo shoot, they'll do multiple photo shoots in that area with like different outfits.
right.
And then they'll stockpile that so then they can like pepper them throughout the year. Because I know Kellie Hart, she has the mantra of like, well, you know, like if you're in like the fitness industry, you should be like relatively in shape throughout the year. And that's not a bad thing to aspire to be. But there are plenty of fitness professionals too that cycle through an on and off season. So that might be mind blowing to some people that, hey, some of these people don't have a six pack all year round. I know plenty of celebrity interviews, lots of those actors don't have that body all year round either.
Right.
And that's okay.
So I guess like I kind of just went off on like social media, but like
Mm,
as far as like body dysmorphia, like I think we, as much as people like want to stray away from it, it's like we all have a mental picture of like the best us in our mind, right? So I grew up super skinny, like I mean, I've told it plenty of times, and I was able to put on muscle, and I've done several shows over the past years, and you get super shredded for shows, and like those pictures are everywhere, and so it's like, man, like how did I get like that lean for that, man? I look so good
mm,
there. That was the best. I can never be that good again. And it's like, well, no, it's just I was prepping for a time and a place, and it was hard, and it was 20 weeks, there's half the year. It was like I missed this. I struggled through this. It's like all I'm looking at right now is a picture that looks awesome. Like
mm.
in my head, I easily forget all the prep and all the work and all the time and the sacrifice that it took to get there, to that time. It's like, well, if I could just like picture that in my head, like, oh, it was awesome to get there, but I'm glad I'm where I'm at right now. I'm glad I can appreciate the here and now versus like the where I was then, to like look that way for that one picture, that two pictures or whatever it was. Because I really think pictures just have a huge impact on that feeling of body dysmorphia. It's got to be, right? I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like what if you didn't have that picture, where would the basis of that idea come from? You know, it has to come from something.
right.
And